try this question. There's two functions here that they want you to sketch. They'll give you a nice piece of graph paper to do this in. They want you to do it between minus 90 degrees and 90 degrees. They want you to do sine 2x and cos x plus 60. Well, the cos one's got a step of 90 degrees. Every 90 degrees, something happens. But this sine 2x one, it's got a step of half every 45 degrees, something happens. It goes 0 and 0, and then after 45 degrees, it goes up to 1, and after 90 degrees, it comes back to 0. If you know the basic shape of sine and you know what happened to the step and that the period should go through a complete wave in 180 degrees, 360 divided by 2, you don't need a calculator to sketch this thing. You can just sketch the graph. So let's just see what Mr. Autry did here. He did a nice graph here. Let's take a look at the sine one first. We know it starts at 0, but then after 45 degrees, it's got to go up to 1. And after 90 degrees, so we're going all the way, it comes right back down to 0. And then at minus 45, it has to be negative 1, and minus 90 back to 0. There's your sine graph. Graph the turning points, label it F, and you've got 3 marks just for doing that nice sine graph. But the cos graph, okay, what's happened to the cos graph? Normally, cos goes through 0 and 1, but this plus 60 means it's moved 60 degrees to the left. So you can put a point, instead of 0 and 1, minus 60 and 1. And now the other points, you know that if you go 90 degrees, it starts at 1. The step is 90 degrees. After 90 degrees, it goes back to 0. So minus 60 plus 90 is 30 and 0. And for the other points, you just should know the cosine of 60 degrees. If x is 0, the cosine of 60 must go through a half. There we go. It's got a half there. And then what you do is you put in 90 degrees, go 90 plus 60, press, you can see it in your head. That's the cosine of 30. The cosine of the reference is 30 degrees. You could do this with a special triangle, or you can put that in your calculator. It's negative root 3 over 2. If you put 90 in there, the cosine of 150 is negative root 3 over 2. Then put minus 90 in there, and you'll get positive root 3 over 2. The other way of doing it is to go, okay, minus 90, that's negative 30 degrees. The reference angle is 30. Yeah, if you put in minus 90, put in 90 there, and you get minus 30, it should be positive. And it is positive root 3 over 2. So you can put those in your calculator. It doesn't say without a calculator. So you could actually just put in 90 and minus 90, get the values, and label those endpoints. And that's a turning point. Minus 60 and 1's got to be there. If you understand the cosine and sine graph, you don't need a calculator because you can just sketch it from understanding it. Now, determine the values for where f equals g, and it's 6 marks, a lot of marks. That right there, where they equal each other. Okay, how would we get that value right there? Well, we have to let these two equations, f and g, let them equal each other. Go sine 2x equals the cos of x. You get a mark just for figuring that out. But now it's time for this special trick. Instead of cos, make it sine of 90 minus. And 90 minus x plus 60 is 30 minus x. Now, the only way these two equations could be equal is if 2x equaled 30 minus x. And those answers would repeat themselves every 360 degrees. And the other one is 180 minus 30 minus x plus k times 360. Well, you just solve this. You add 3x, and then you divide by 3, and you get x equals 10 plus k times 120. So, that must be 10 degrees right there. And I think that is the answer. If we do the other one, 180 minus, we get 150 plus k times, that's a plus x. We take away x equals 150 plus k times 360. That we don't have anything around 150, so this one's not going to give us any answers. So there it is. That's the value. X equals 10 degrees. So we're all done.